CES coverage sponsored by GoDaddy.com, the leader in domain names, web hosting services. New customers save 25% by using promo code CES25 at GoDaddy.com.
CES coverage sponsored by Audible.com, where books come alive. Listen to a bestseller on your iPod or MP3 player. You can get a free trial over at audiblepodcast.com/CES.
CES coverage sponsored by Lexar Las Vegas. Get to the point. Rooms start at $40. See tpn.tv for Lexar advertisement, which is the gateway to savings.
So Bradford, what do we have here? Automated door opener.
Yes, Altorr is dedicated to increasing the abilities for disabled people. We concentrate largely with the returning veterans, so we make controls that can be controlled through multi-sensory mechanisms, either through voice control. Sometimes a person may not even be able to have that, so we have gesture controls and so forth. Besides the control systems, we also build specific peripheral that can be controlled. There's an abundance of controls for lighting and for other things, but we build a voice-controlled door opener which can be attached to...
Jack, if you can maybe pull up the IVGA here, and that's probably the best picture that we have.
We can do a website if you can go to their website.
Well, we've got an we've got a JPEG over here
yes.
On the laptop. If you can pull that up.
Trying to show it on the full
on
size.
IVGA.
Oh, okay. Well, for some reason I've lost it. I don't know why.
IVGA.
Yeah, there it is. Here it comes.
Here it comes.
Here it comes.
Okay. And SP, if you can, you've already got it zoomed up, and it's we're getting close.
There we go.
There it is.
I'm not used to this computer. There we go.
Yeah. So now you've got a good picture of the device itself. But what's this story? Was your company in this business before, or is this a response to a need?
This was actually a personal experience. A good friend of mine who was a missionary fell and broke his neck and became a quadriplegic after beginning to take care of him. This was about 12 years ago. I began to recognize that technology could come to bear. My partner, Tim Barber, who was the former head of Easter Seals, currently the director of All Children's Hospital in St. Petersburg, we both have a passion particularly for the returning veterans. And so we formed the company about 3 years ago and began building the controller device. Unfortunately, there's a great need for devices, specific devices to be controlled. For instance, a door opener. We make a voice-controlled lift, which allows a disabled person to be taken out of his bed and put into a wheelchair, or it has an overhead track system, which he can say, for instance, take me to the bathroom, and it will take him to the bathroom or the kitchen. Or in the case of a fire, he can, exit the building all by himself. Mm-hmm. So we make a variety of peripherals, specialized peripherals that can be controlled by our control system. And of course, our control system interfaces with virtually all other formats, such as the Z-Wave and Zigby, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and RF, so that we can control peripherals like television and so forth.
Yeah, we're showing a picture here of the lift, and that looks really elaborate, I have to say.
Well, yes, it's a track system. There's a multitude of devices which you can attach to the person, or slings and so forth, depending upon the degree of the severity of their disability.
So for those of you who see the video, this should actually look pretty good on video when it's a little bit smaller. So that is a great tracking system. It has a big engine block, seems like it, right next to to the
Can you
to
go
the
ahead
rail.
and run that run the video there?
If we have a video here, okay. Actually, we do here.
Yes, if you can pull into 2 minutes and 5 seconds, I think was
Yes.
where we wanted to go.
Okay, I'll do it. Two minutes and 5 seconds.
Yes, 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And there's 202. Okay.
Oh, there we go. Very cool. Let's see if I can get this in full screen too.
So as you'll notice,
There we go. It has to stay that way.
I don't think they can hear anything, but if you watch his lips, he's giving commands, and the unit's responding to it.
So voice control. This
Yes.
Under voice control.
Really? To do
Yeah.
it by voice control?
Absolutely.
You can
Well,
tell
it can be done manually as well, but just by voice control.
So we can see if you want to do it manually, you have the device to control it right there.
Exactly.
How much of this has to be customized for an individual, for an individual, as opposed to kind of general purpose blocks that snap together?
Well, one of the keys to our voice recognition system is it has what we call a public and a private interface. Basically what that means is there are sets of controls that would be specific to the disabled person. That would be the private interface. Plus we have a public interface. For instance, you want to turn the lights and so on and so forth. So
Okay.
it really doesn't have to be customized for the individual much.
What was the biggest challenge that you had in bringing this to market? You know, a comparatively simple device like the door opener. I imagine there were challenges there that people don't see.
I'd have to say the most challenging aspect of all of this is government.
Oh, really?
the testing and all of that, the liability and all of that.
Needs to be secure.
The door opener was a relatively simple thing, but when you get involved in lifts and that sort of thing, it's quite. I did a great deal of learning during that period.
What else do we have here? This looks like a controller.
Yes,
of,
this is
of
actually
some sort.
what the controller looks like.
Turn this around here on the overhead there, Jack. And there, you can see on the right-hand monitor.
Okay.
There.
Right. This we make two different kinds of voice recognition systems. One is the one you saw in the lift, which is an autonomous one. It doesn't require any outside control. This is our home entertainment and control combination. This has within it the ability to communicate with virtually any kind of interface, including IR for controlling your television or any kind of infrared device, plus the Zigby, Z-Wave, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi.
Now, what sort of Zigby devices would couple into this? What
Well,
would be typical sensors there?
Certainly, we could have Zigby light switches, dimmers, air conditioning controls. There is virtually, several hundreds. In fact, one of the reasons I'm here at the show is to explore all of the various kinds of peripherals that we can control. That's true also in the Z-Wave environment. There's General Electric has a large number of those devices. So we try to find the devices available. We have added some devices ourselves that just simply are not being produced. But we also are looking now to, a lot of people are expressing a great interest in the general market, not for the disabled, but to control their washing machines. A number of the large producers are now making intelligent washing systems and, of course, the heating and air conditioning system. So what this does is it gives you one interface that communicates with every platform. We are trying to promote that so that you don't have to have multiple, so that you can have your choice of devices and not be limited to, once you start with Z-Wave, you've got to go one direction.
So how do you distribute your products? Do you sell directly, or are you system integrators, or how?
We are selling through system integrators. Currently, the large majority of our, almost entirely, we sell through the VA. We're just branching out this year into the to the general public, so we really haven't established that yet.
What are the range of prices? How expensive are these systems?
Well, the lift systems can be quite expensive. Frankly, it entails installing the track and all of that. The unit itself is not all that expensive.
Are most structures able to handle the installation, or are there other things that have to be done before you can even think about putting an installation in?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Precast, multiple-story concrete buildings are a challenge, frankly, but there are solutions.
Why are they hard?
Well, because you can't fasten into the ceilings. So then you have to do a span. We do have other, and I didn't bring any pictures of it, but there are floor-oriented units which you would, in that case, use, which is really a unit on a series of wheels. One of the other devices that we are developing and is with great, people are really liking it, is we are creating a high-definition GPS control system, which allows you to take a electric wheelchair, push a button, and then go from, for instance, your bedroom to your living room and record that as a track. And then you can say, bedroom. And
oh, that's cool. I like that. Automation.
Yeah, with a single command, go from the bedroom to the living room. Particularly the severe quadras that they have, many of them can't even use a joystick. So they have no mobility outside of a caretaker. And then the caretaker is the other person in this equation that I think is so often overlooked. Lifting someone out of bed, you take a young fellow that we're working with, he's about 220 pounds, and his wife is about 5'2", and she is literally taking him out of a chair and putting him into a bed and back and forth. And the interesting thing is when we first spoke with him, he wasn't interested. But she spoke up, and she said she was real interested, and then he became real interested.
Right,
so
right.
It's an interesting experience.
Where can people go for more information on your products?
You can go to our website, which is Altorr, ALTORR.com, and there we have a number of other sites, which unfortunately I can't remember, that are linked to us. The VA has some information on us, as well as the Association for Disabled Vets.
Yes, yes. Company is Altorr Corporation, and information on mobility, multisensory mobility control. Control devices. Bradford, thanks very much for joining us here at Tech Podcast.
Thank you.
Tech
Thank you so
Podcast
much.
Network.
My pleasure.